How y'all doing? Hope you're all doing well. I'm doing all right. You know, it's a little warm, a little toasty. Hoping for spring, no, fall. The spring would be nice, but yeah, hoping for fall to be starting up here pretty quick. Watch the leaves change colors and all that stuff. All right, so I want to take the first part of today to talk about what's you're going to be working on this week. But more importantly, I want to take a good chunk of time to talk about the Places project, because that's uber importante that you understand what the project is about. So here we go. All right, there are two parts to the Places project, and you can divvy this up amongst your group however you'd like. So let's say there's two people in your group, and you're like, hey, why don't you do the slideshow and I'll do the tour? Or you can go, all right, I'm going to do, 7 of the places, and you're going to do 7 of the places and put them in the slideshow and the tour. However you want to divvy that up, that's fine. I have assigned the groups already. I'll show you that, how to get to that information, or at least point you hopefully in the right direction, because I don't remember. But that's okay. Hey, yeah. So there's 2 parts. A Google slideshow. So you need to have a title slide. It needs to have every member of your group in there so that I know who to look for slides from or a tour from. And then you need to have a photo of each place. I'll show you an example slide here coming up. More is better. You need to have a map. And if the place is kind of like obscure, and you can define obscure however you'd like. If a first grader would not be able to figure out where this place is, go ahead and give me an inset map. So an inset map is like a big overview map, and then a large scale map of where it's at would be, an inset. So an example would be, so for example, this is one of my favorites. We used to do these in person, so it was easier for me to go, okay, well, this is where it's at. But one of my favorite ones is at the end of the presentation, I'd go, all right, anybody have any questions? And somebody would go, yeah, where is, Italy? And somebody would inevitably say, well, it's in Europe. Where's Europe? So treat us like we don't know where anything is. So include an inset map would probably be the best idea. Obviously, if it's in Southern California or California, you'd probably be okay. But just err on the side of caution that nobody knows where these places are. But you need to at least have a map. And then you need to have a description of the place and how it fits your theme. So let me talk about the different themes. Hopefully this links to it links to that. All right, so that's not what I want. This is what I want. Okay, so the first thing is there's a Google Sheet, and these are the 200 places that you need to be familiar with where they're located and why they're kind of cool for the map test at the end of the semester. So this is all 200 places, and these are the different themes. So I've broken this list into a group of themes that kind of loosely put these things together. So this was used to be the 25 places you should see before you die. So this is kind of like my catch-all that doesn't really necessarily fall into one of these other things, or I thought it was really kind of cool. But I started with 25 places, and then over time, I've either eliminated the place or I've kind of put it somewhere else because it fits better into a different theme, because I've changed the themes over the years. So now it's down 15 places that you should see before you die. So you want to talk about, for this one, what makes these things kind of cool. So what makes Bora Bora special compared to the other islands of the Pacific? Or, what makes Pemmican really, really cool compared to, somewhere else? I can't think of another place. Travertine Hot Springs in California, right? So you want to kind of figure out what makes them kind of special. Special words are like biggest, tallest, excellent, views of the night sky, or, crystal clear water, the clearest water in the world, something like that. So maybe it's an area that's threatened. Could also be what makes it, unique or special. It's like, you should go see this place before you die, or before it, is killed off. So that would be that one. This one is in the Americas. So it's either in North or South America. There is a lot of overlap in the sense that, yes, there are places that are in the 15 places that could have fallen into one of these other groups, but I wanted to kind of divvy up the places the best I could, you know, to create smaller chunks. So that it doesn't mean these are the only places that are in America. So for this one, you want to look at, you know, what makes it uniquely, you know, so for example, the Aleutian Islands are an archipelago created by the subduction of the Pacific plate under the North American plate. And so, you know, you get this volcanic island chain. So it really could have fit into, you know, another theme, but it's in the Americas, so I threw it in there. So you want to kind of focus on what makes it kind of neat, stand out in your mind, you know, so that, you know, typically I'm not going to ask a question unless it's something like the deepest, the saltiest, you know, what's the saltiest body of water in the world kind of thing. That might be important. It's not this particular set of islands, but hopefully you can kind of, and the idea is that if you can understand the significance of it and pass that on to other people, then maybe they can see why, you know, so maybe they don't remember it's the Aleutian Islands and they go, oh, that's, you know, this island chain where the Pacific plate, you know, hits the North American plate. So when they look at the map, they can go, okay, well, that limits me to, you know, this area here. And, you know, A rhymes with, you know, starts with the same letter as Alaska. So I'm going to put it up near Alaska and call it a day. So, so you want to give it a good description and you want to kind of suss out what makes it kind of cool or special or fun. Biodiversity. So for this group, you might want to define what biodiversity is so that people understand, you know, why these places are quote unquote biodiverse. These are places in California. Choke points, this deals with strategic areas that control ingress coming in or going out of an area, cutoff miles, things like that. So, you know, like the Panama Canal is there because if you control the Panama Canal, then you control whether or not people, you know, ships have to go all the way around the Horn of South America in order to get from one coast of North America to the other coast of North America, or South America for that matter. Depending on where you are on the coast, you may want to, you know, swing by, you know, go through the Panama Canal instead. So these are areas that are strategic in that sense. Deserts, well, obviously those are deserts, and forests is self-explanatory. So when you look at like deserts, forests, lakes, it could be, you know, the largest desert in, you know, Africa or the driest desert in the world or things like that, that make it super duper special. Lakes, yeah, that one's pretty easy. Mountains, yeah, plate tectonics, related to plate tectonics. Rivers, seas and oceans. The last one is weathering, erosion, and deposition. So the Earth has undergone a multitude of changes over the millennia. So this one is going to deal with, you know, either it's a glaciated area or it's a windswept area or it's a water created area or something like that. So it's going to be like caves or glacial valleys, or like the King of Wings is actually sand blown by wind, you know, scraped by wind. So so you want to kind of figure out, like, you know, what makes these cool. So either how they were formed or how they're still part of. So some of these are glaciers. And so you want to kind of think about, you know, what makes them kind of cool. So that's in the module, and I released that module today. I needed to put some little finishing touches on it. So your group project, the first parts, A and B, are due on October the 26th. Again, the two parts are a slideshow and a tour link. I'm going to talk about the tour here in a second. So the slideshow is pretty easy. If I go back to my slides, this essentially would be a good slide. It's only missing two things. Your name, like whoever created it, and the number it falls on the list. And so I want to show you what I mean by that. So where is the list? Oh, right here, the places worksheet, which is due on December the 6th. I should actually move that out of here. So if you go to this link, it's going to ask you to make a copy. And this is what you're to fill in if you want to get your 30 points for doing this assignment. If you don't do it, then you don't get a 0 on it, but it will help you study for the math test. And the math test may be something that you're interested in utilizing to get rid of a low test score for something else, because it's just like, where is this place? Where is that place? So these are the numbers I was referring to. So Antelope Canyon is not on this list anymore, but these are in alphabetical order. So let's say I had made a slide on the Antelope Valley Poppy Reserve, then it would have said number 10. That's one of the main reasons why it doesn't have a number, because I got rid of it. And it should also have your name, so I know who made the slide, so I know who to give the points to. So let's say in your group, you decide, okay, I'm going to do all the slides, and my partner is going to do the tour, and they don't turn in the tour. Then you did the slides and you did a good job on the slides, meaning you've got pictures, you've got a description, you've got maps, you've got inset maps, you've got your name, you've got the number, you've done everything perfectly on the slideshow. Then you're going to get credit for the tour, even though you didn't do it. Let's say, for example, that you divided it differently and you said, okay, well, I'm going to do the first 10 places and you're going to do the next 10 places. So you do 10 places in your slides, you do 10 places in your tour, but your partner doesn't do either of them. You get credit for the work that you did, but you don't get docked for the work that you didn't do if one can assume you gave it to somebody else. So how do we say we're going to assume this? Well, this is what you need to do. So each of you is in a group. And if I recall correctly, and this is kind of hard because I don't think it will show me, because although I'm a student, it doesn't say, but I believe there's something that says people or groups or something on this page when you're logged in as you, and you click on that, and hopefully that's true. But I'm not a student in my own class, I'm only the teacher. So I belong to all the groups. So I'm gonna go to people and I'm just gonna pick on the 15 place people. All right, so each of these people have a homepage. So this homepage allows you to easily share information, share Google Docs, share links to a Google Doc or a presentation or your Google slideshow, your tour, and all that stuff. Make announcements to each other. You can collaborate. You can have conferences and meet up. You can, decide when you're going to meet on Zoom or whatever. So how do you clear up who's doing what? You put it in an announcement. So you would go to announcements and you would say, hey, this is how we're going to divide and conquer the work. So I'm going to do the first 10 and, this person's going to do the next 10. So it requires at least one person to be in the group and be like, yo, this is how it's going to work. Or you can be more diplomatic about it and go, hey, just want to reach out to you and find out what you'd like to do as far as the group project is concerned, get back to me in the next 2 days. But don't give them an unlimited amount of time, because I've seen it in the past. People, at times have been known not to respond in a timely and efficient manner. And that would personally drive me crazy. So just give them a couple of days and then just take over. Be like, all right, this is how we're going to do it. I'm going to do this part. I'm going to do this part. You're responsible for this part and this part. But, kind of be nice about, So what I'd like to see is that, and this is, of course, I wonder how many people are going to listen to this thing here. So the way I'm going to know that you listen to this recording is you're going to go in and you're going to make an announcement in your group that announces who you are and what your preference is for those places. Because once you get to your, and I'm going to put in an announcement as soon as I'm done lecturing with you guys today. I'm going to put in an announcement that has the link to, that has the list of your places in the Excel document. But if you wanted to look yourself before I put it in, then again, that's going to be under the modules. Oops. Modules. Oh, I have to go back to the course. Sorry. So that'll be under modules, and then that link is here under the Google Sheet with lists broken into groups. I've also included example Google Slides, how to do the tour video, and a sample Google tour, which may still be an actual Google tour. No, it is in Google Earth. So yeah. So this is the Google tour. We used to do this in Tour Builder, but Google stopped doing Tour Builder. So now we just do it in Google Earth. And so what I did is, so this is just a link to, excuse me, Google. And what you would do is you would include, various points of interest. So you'd have to create a project. So I'm going to show you this one that I made rather than, so this is my, example field trip, which really isn't that great because it doesn't do what I want, but that's okay. So you would have, no, I better not do that. Let's take you to the, that should have been, how come the tour's not working? That's not good. All right, so I have to fix that. Because it's not taking you to my tour, it's just taking you to Google Tour. I mean, it's taking you to Google Earth. So, all right, I've got to figure out that. Writing it down. Google Tour. Am I logged in as the wrong person? I don't know. I'll figure it out, and then I will post an announcement as to where it's at. But basically, you're gonna, yeah, I can't talk about that right now because I need my example tour in order to show you. It's not even showing up here. Oh, because I'm not logged in as me. Patience, my dear, patience. All right, that's not gonna work. Okay, so I'm gonna have to figure that out, how to get it to go to the sample tour that I want you to go to. But there's also a video that walks you through how to build it. It's short, I think it's 5 minutes or something like that. So hopefully that is good enough. All right, so I've talked about this. All right, I've talked about this. Here's a demo. You can also make it in ArcGIS Online. It's complicated, so that's, I put it there. I've had a couple of students who've done it in there because they've had experience doing it. And the tour is intended to support the completion of the worksheet. So make sure that when you make the tour, you have, what makes it significant. Don't just copy and paste stuff from the internet, kind of put it in your own words, make it really easy, deepest river in the world or whatever it is, or longest river in the world, denial. And then you click on that and it would go there so that people could see where it is the idea behind that. So, oh, on the places worksheet, I forgot to mention that. Oh, Jiminy Cricket. It asks for what it's nearest. So this is going to be a personal thing. So it's personal because you have to decide where it's nearest, and it should be something that you would know where it is. So for example, the Aleutian Islands, well, they're nearest Alaska. But if you don't know where Alaska is, you could say the top part of North America, or you could say, whatever you find it to be nearest to, maybe where Kamchatka is, and so you put nearest Kamchatka, right? So it's very personal. In the past, I've had students who have asked to work on this places study sheet with their partner group. I'm okay with that, but you need to be completely honest that you've done that. So when you turn it in at the end of the semester, you need to, make sure that both of your names are somehow associated with this particular document. It's not a group assignment. It's intended to be an individual assignment to help you study for the math test. But in order to avoid, there are 200 places. But the idea isn't that you're all, collaborating together. So yes, you may turn it in with your group mates, but I need to know that that's what you've done, because otherwise you're going to get a 0 for copying each other rather than, getting full credit for turning it in. But it is supposed to be, an individual thing, because, you may know where Alaska is and somebody in your group may not know where Alaska is. And so it's meant, as I've said before, to help you study for the math test. Okay, so if you have any questions, I will talk about the Places project again at a later date, but for now that should be good. All right, so I talked about this, so you can see, which group you're in, and again, post an announcement by next week, introducing yourself to your group mates, and I will give you personally 5 points of extra credit.